Good morning. Thank you, Jesus, for the day. It's a Monday. Let's get to work. We're gonna have a big day today here. This weekend, I datoed out all the face frames, screwed all the face frames on, built all of our tremendously thick shelving that's sitting right over there. So now what I need to get done is I need to cut out all of our bottom skins, and then I need to check to make sure the shelves fit, measure all the cabinets, double check all the cabinets there, make sure all the shelf holes are in, get these cabinets over there so I can measure for doors. And then there is this face frame I need to put on. It just got clear coated, and I think there's two more so for those two cabinets. So there is a few other things, but just gonna kind of clean everything up, make sure everything measures out correctly, and sort of go from there. It is legitimately 95 degrees with like 90% humidity this week. So it's gonna be super hot, which makes it a lot of fun, but we'll get it done either way. So once we get this whole area completed, bring the cabinets over there and we'll measure for doors. Started cutting out my bottom skins for all of our white oak cabinets over there. Doing the 1/4 inch pieces first, so I need a 28.5. Try to line that up correctly. There we go. Bring it over here. This one's for the microwave, so I'm also cutting a 3/4 inch piece. I'll glue everything together. That'll be a nice fit. That way then it can help support the weight of the microwave. And we don't have any issues there. Cross this off the list. So I need a 30 1/8. Come right down here. If I can do it. There we go. Get us another piece and make sure it looks good. Perfect. Double check that it fits here. It should. Yep, it will. I think I'm going to spray it right now with our contact adhesive by 3M. Trying not to pile it up too high. I do like putting a decent amount on though. Bottle's kind of running out. Ugh, you gotta be kidding me. There we go. A little bit got right up there. I'm gonna wipe that all off. There we go. Now that's all off. I'll let that sit for a minute. Maybe I can cut another piece. So that's a 22.5, 22.5, 22.5. That's a 3/4. That one, no. So I need a 13, an 18.5, and a 15. Okay. What can this be used? Nothing. Can this be an 18.5? Nope. But it can be a 15. Do that right now. Then we'll go put that other piece on, and then we'll put this piece on as well. I'm gonna kind of double check all the cabinet measurements as I go, double check all the shelves as well. That way when Jacob or Brandon get back, we can just keep cooking. So this one was number what? Number 1. Bring it all the way down here. I know number 1's down here. Okay. Probably should have double checked that it fit before I did this, but I'm going to trust that I was able to measure it correctly. I'll let that cool right there for a minute, let it dry up. It is so incredibly humid and hot today, but it's good. These feel really good. So now, push it all the way down. Nice tight fit there. Just kind of go all the way around. I want to make sure there's no air in there. There we go. Don't like to hammer it too hard. It doesn't really need it, quite honestly. There we go. Okay. That one's done. Besides, I just need to double check the width, the height, the depth, double check the shelf holes, and double check all the shelves. But I'll do that in a little while. Once I kind of get all these other ones cut out. Need an 18.5. Scoot it down a minute here. There we go. 18.5. Perfect. Double check that. I just moved it. Nope, that's perfect. Okay. 18.5 by 10.5. Don't really like any of that. There we go. Done. That's number 2. Do this again, spray. Number 2, there you are. This contact adhesive is nice. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's really nice. You don't have to pin nail or brad nail or any of that. When I pack out the microwave though, it'll be 1.5 inches thick and it'll be 3 layers. What I'll do is I'll contact cement everything, and then I'll come through brad nail it so it sandwiches everything together, and I'll color match putty it. So that way, the microwave would cover it. You wouldn't have to putty it at all, but I just do it. See, is it gonna fit? It does. Thank you, Jesus. Push it down. Make sure it's tight everywhere and it's looking the way it should. Feels good. Okay. I think I'll cut one more. I think it's number 3 that I need. Is that correct? Yep, 13 1/4. And then I think all of the 10.5s are done. For the 1/4 inch anyway. I had to pack out the pantry, the top and the bottom, because we had to do it in 2 parts. Upper part, lower part, because the cabinet's going floor to ceiling. And there's no place in the house to get it angled, to get it stood up. So we just have to do it as 2 parts, and then we'll put one long side panel that will cover up the seam. It looks good. We do it that way quite often. I mean, I always prefer to make it as one, but a lot of times there's just not the space in the house, or the height requirements in the house aren't what we need it to be to get it tilted up. I've done it another way as well, where I just made the toe kicks separately, and that worked. But that was almost more of a pain. I don't know. It wasn't, but it kind of was. And it was only on an 18-inch deep, or not an 18-inch deep, a 21-inch deep. So the angle that you need was a lot easier to get it up, because it's not as deep as like a 24-inch deep. So I'm always worried I won't be able to stand it up, and then what do you do? And you're kind of screwed. So we'll just build it as an upper and a lower, connect them. The doors will cover the front seam. Side panel covers any of the side seams, and it all looks amazing. So yeah. And I build the cabinets all the way to the ceiling. I don't leave any room. Client's paying for biggest rough opening we can do for their cabinets. So I'm gonna give them the biggest rough opening that we can do for their cabinets. I had a question about this 23, number 4. It's definitely 23.5 by 23. That is not number 4. I don't know. I don't know what I got going on right there. Oh, I know exactly what that is. That's for a side. I'm packing out this side, so when our big fridge panel goes to it, that 1/4 inch will be packed out so I can screw into it. I was like, why is that measurement like that? That makes zero sense. Okay, while it dries, I'm gonna tidy up my space. And then I'll put that on. And I'll start cutting all my other material, get those on, and then double check everything, double check the shelf holes, measurements, and all of the shelves. All of our bottom skins and this one side skin are on all of our cabinets. The top part of this pantry we packed out, and the bottom part of this pantry we packed out South's way. When that goes on top, we can screw up through the bottom here, which you'll never see, and there's material that it will grab, it'll hold. There'll be a slight seam here, obviously. The doors, the way I'm gonna measure, will cover. And on the side here, a side panel going all the way up 95 and like 1/4 inches will cover all of that. So that's awesome. Need to put that face frame on, that face frame on, and that face frame on, and then I need to put our pack up material on there to the microwave. This skin is here because we're building a tall side panel for the other side of the fridge. And I want this flush here, so that way when we screw in on this side into the panel, it doesn't get wonky. We don't have to shim it out on site. Things are just ready to go. So next step is measure everything, double check it, width, height, depth, make sure the shelf holes are there, and then double check the shelves. Move anything that is done over there, so that way I can start measuring for doors, and then hopefully face frame, pack out, double check, face frame, double check, and then face frame, double check, and then everything will be over there. Once we do all that, there's still so much left to do, but need to do a pan divider for one of the cabinets, and then we need to obviously measure for doors, put on the skin side panels 1/4 inch, grain up and down on the white oak clear coat. Need to put those on, install the drawer boxes that are finished, and then build the fridge panel along with all of the trim. We'll have to custom build everything since it's white oak. So that'll take some time, but we're making progress. Just put our microwave face frame on, double checked all the measurements, the shelf holes. Now Jacob is going to double check the shelf for me. Once I get this bottom packed out here, I'm going to sandwich it, contact adhesive, and then brad nail it all, color match putty it all. Be good to go. I think I put that putty away, which is silly. Let's take a strut, let's take a stroll. We've double checked all the cabinets so far that are pretty much completed. They're sitting over there. There's a few more that are completed that we need to move. And then there's a few more cabinets that we need to complete still. So, those 3. This one, there's quite a few. So, just need to keep on trucking here. That's actually setting up really nice. Once I get this one completed, I'll move it, and then Jacob and I will get this face frame on this big boy right here. It's going to be a 2 drawer box, 1 drawer box, 2 drawer box with drawer fronts, 2 doors, pull out, drawer box, whole width. Then there's also going to be a shelf. So that's going to be a pretty cool one, pretty cool cabinet. Get that in there. Contact that down. And then we'll hit it again so we can put our 1/4 inch piece. So our half plus our 3/4 plus our 1/4 will give us 1.5 inches of material that we're able to drill through for the microwave. We don't really deal with appliances at all. We tear out all the old stuff. We build the custom cabinets. We have another countertop company that's family owned and operated. We schedule them all. They come in, do the countertops. We have our plumber, electrician for the plumbing and electrical. But we don't do anything with appliances, but a lot of times we'll help the client drill the microwave, so, and hang it. That way then it's also just good to know that it fits. So Jacob, you can double check this shelf. You want to do that real quick before I put this on? Jacob's gonna grab the shelf, see if it fits. Then once you put that shelf back, Jacob, will you grab this face frame? The other one's that sink face frame, so we don't need that, obviously. It's gonna be a little wonky situation. That looks perfect. Love that.
Is it the one with the like 45 cuts on it?
Yeah, that one's not the 45. That's the big boy. The 45 one we don't need. That's for the sink that we're gonna install on site, because it's not really a cabinet right now. It's kind of wonky, but we've dealt with it before for that double color job, so that we did up in Iowa City. So it's essentially the same thing. I'd argue this time it's a little bit harder because there's no cabinet right next to it. So, but we'll figure it out. I grab my nails here. I use 1.25 inches, so it goes through every piece. Oh, you gotta turn the brad nailers on. I always forget about that. Always forget about that. There we go. Put quite a few of these in here. That way, along with the contact cement, this doesn't pop up when I go to screw through it for the microwave. Then we'll use a little color match putty. Really don't have to do this, or I'm going to. Then when I move this out of the way, Jacob, do you want to start on that next face frame? That's all. Beside that and the Lazy Susan are the last face frames we got to put on. You can take that battery out of that brad nailer, put it on the impact. If you want to drill, get it. The impact's kind of sus for this operation, but otherwise, if you just get it up there, I can screw it in. If you get like the shelf ready, stuff like that. So I'm going to take this over there and we'll start working on that big boy. This big boy up there now should fit. I tested this out yesterday. So when I dadoed, yep, it's good over there. Looks good here. It's definitely snug. That glue in there, so line it up on the top and screw it in. That's all there is to it. Make sure we're down all the way everywhere, and all I got to do here is just screw everything in. I'm gonna use my straight edge to make sure it's perfectly straight. Double check the measurements. We'll move this guy along with the others, and then we'll start on the pan divider. Jacob's working on the toe kick. We got that face frame on there. Now I'm going to work on this Lazy Susan, putting this face frame on, and then I will work on the toe kick since it's a little funky toe kick. It has to be that side panel is going on the left-hand side. Okay, so Lazy Susans can be a little more challenging, but we'll get it done. Kind of working with two different planes at one time, and everything needs to make sure it ends up being square and works out okay. So it can be a little challenging, but that's okay. There we go. It was good, I think. There we go. Okay. Down, sink it in. Perfect. Make sure this can get in there. Now I just need to screw this whole thing off, make sure the heights are all correct, and then I'll start working on the toe kick for this. This is using face frame on, and we did our toe kick where I built these boards up. nailed this in so it's super solid. Again, I think the weight of it would just hold it down, but I always get a little worried there, so that's what we did there. My next thing I'm doing is I'm cutting pieces for our pan divider cabinet. I'm going to Craig jig this piece, get this in as our top spacer here, or our top pack out, and then I'll put a piece here, another piece here with dados in it, and then I'll cut our middle divider. And I think I'll cut it this time, not Jakey, because last time he had to cut it 3 times. 3 times, Jakey, but it turned out great. And then we got to edge band everything to make sure everything looks perfect. Once that's completed, we can finally move everything. I need to set my Craig jig machine up. We can finally move everything. And then I'll measure for doors. I have my top board in for this pan divider, and essentially it's just a place for me to brad nail into. This part is for a drawer box, so it's not necessary, but essentially we're gonna brad nail board into here, brad nail board into here. It's all gonna be edge banded, looks super nice. We'll color match the holes in with some putty, and you'll never see them anyway, but I'm just gonna do it because it makes me feel better. And we have to cut dados in those 2 boards, so that way this board right here in the middle, it'll be edge banded. It can slide in and out. Helps for installation because this is a narrow cabinet, so it's terrible. I used to make them without it being removable, and it was terrible to put in and out. And then one time we had a client who, we put shelf holes in this cabinet, which is smart because one time we had a client who, oh, it's super dusty, but who didn't want it anymore. They wanted shelving, and it was all bolted in. He couldn't access it because the countertop was on. We had to tear it out as a nightmare. We had to reskin the whole inside. It was terrible. So say the client doesn't want it. Worst case, pull this board out. If they don't like seeing the dados, you can pop those out. A few brad nails will come out easy, putty it, and then shelf holes are already in there, ready to go. So Jacob's cutting my 2 boards here. Once they're in and dadoed, we'll find the measurement for the middle board, get everything edge banded and everything in. And then all these cabinets can be moved over there. I'll start measuring for doors, and Jacob will start on the drawer boxes. Jacob and I finished building our custom pan divider cabinet that is removable. Helps us get screws in there to lock the cabinet into the studs or the framework of the house. And again, if the client wants it out of there in the future, wants shelving, we have shelf holes drilled and is prepped for that as well. Started measuring for most of the doors. All the uppers are done. Just waiting until the slides and the drawer boxes are in to measure for these. Jacob's getting all of our brackets in place with some 3/4 inch material, a bunch of screws in there, and the brackets and the correct offset. Offset's 3/8 of an inch. And then I have our orange clips in to our drawer boxes. They have adjustment, and they clip into the drawer slides right there. So I'm gonna attempt to get these in place here. And then screw everything in. Hopefully Jakey did the math correct. These are Bloom Tandem soft close full extension slides, and they can hold up to 100 pounds fully extended. It's super easy to install. All you do is whatever your offset is here, you subtract 3/8 of an inch. Same thing on this side. Draw your lines in the back, screw the bracket in, then mount the slides. That little U part right there, I slide up just a hair past the edge of our face frame. And that usually works out pretty well. Right about there. We do have a pull-out drawer box, and we'll set them back typically flush with the face frame because the drawer front doesn't connect to it. Doors are in front of it, and I want to make sure it doesn't stick out. So, do you need this? On the power of the Milwaukee, I'm going to get this thing screwed in. Hopefully everything works. There we go. That pushed it back. Oh, I'm on an angle. It's such a small little cabinet here. See if I can't get it put back into position here. It's so humid, everything's sweaty and it's moving. There we go. Yeah. Now, clipped in, feels perfect both sides. fully extends, soft closes back into position. Everything is fully dovetailed, glued, clear coated 3 times, sent through our oven. Make sure the product's cured out. All right, that's done. Now we have about 7 more to do, and I'll finish measuring for doors. I've got all of the drawer boxes in. They're all full extension, soft close, maple, dovetailed, hold 100 pounds, fully extended. This is a pull-out box. It'll be inside the doors. So now my job here is to finish measuring these. Just have to measure the lowers right here. And then I need to clean everything, put on the side skins. Once all the side skins are on, we are able to start cutting all the trim. And I have all of the side panels, white oak, 1/4 inch, grain vertical, onto our custom cabinets here. Everything's pretty much ready to go. We do need to build all the trim, but this corner cabinet, we're gonna put this Lazy Daisy in. And then we ordered an actual Lazy Susan for our Super Susan. So we'll do that once it gets in. Camera's messy again. But we're gonna work on this Lazy Daisy, and then I think we're gonna start building the trim. We got Brandon and we got the rest of the cabinets, got that Lazy Daisy in. All the cabinets are done, for the most part at least. The thing we have left to do is build all the trim, fridge side panels, stuff like that. I'm gonna be working on that tomorrow, along with building the doors. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe. Check out the video tomorrow. Adios.